used it last night. One of the students used the videos to answer stuff last night, which is good. So, biology. So this is the assignment we need to do today. We have procrastinated enough and not done. So types of natural selection, and these are some slides to tell us the different types. And here is the document we need to fill out. So we need to first look at these graphs right here, A, B, and C, to answer the questions. Now, this is evolution, and remember, it's survival of the fittest. What that means is anyone that has babies that live to adulthood. I mean, if you think about frogs, I used to watch frogs in the pond when I was younger, and they would produce hundreds of eggs. Hundreds. But what happens is they don't all live to adulthood. Out of those hundreds, you maybe eventually end up with, 10 frogs. That's it. Because the fish come along and eat them, and the foxes and the wolves and the coyotes. I'm trying to think, cats too. But the ones that can hide best survive. And so that's, you see here, this is an example of these are called the peppermill moths. And let me go to this picture. All right, so what happened in England was really interesting because these moths matched the tree trunks, and so they could hide very easily. And um, hold on one sec. It's all right. I mean, I'm going to be going all period, so.
Really quick, yes or no? When Cosmin updated your Windows, did you have trouble with your sound for Google Classroom?
No.
No? Okay, thanks.
But and I take this back. I use my laptop. I don't do Google Classroom.
Okay. All
right. Okay. So anyway, this is the original moth. It was able to hide, and when the Industrial Revolution happened in England, they built all these factories that put out all this pollution, soot and dust into the atmosphere. And they burn coal all the time. What color is coal? So what happened is the trees all got covered in this black soot. And so all of a sudden, the pepper moths couldn't hide, and the moths that were black could, and they survived. Let's see if the picture. Yeah, here's a picture. You see the black ones hiding, the bird eats only the white ones, but before it was the black ones that stood out. What's an interesting fact about all of this is now that they stopped all the pollution, the pepper moths have come back and become dominant again. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. So, we're going to use these graphs to answer the questions. So, which graph depicts a type of natural selection in which the extreme phenotype is a favorable adaptation? I would say this one, B, that we were just talking about. B. Um, Hi.
Hi.
I'm on Google Meet.
Period, do you mind if I send Jack in a little bit early?
Oh, it's fine.
Because I have to leave.
You read my notes about that situation. Okay. Name this type of selection. Where am I supposed to find that? Here it is, types of selection. All right, so stabilizing, disruptive, and here's the moth, directional. All right, so this is directional, Control C, Control V. Ah, I don't care. Okay, so which graph depicts a type of natural selection in which the average is the most favorable and the extremes are unfavorable? I am looking. Well, I would go with one. So, stabilizing selection. All right, we'll go with this. Control C, move down, Control V. So this is A. Graph depicts a type of natural selection in which two opposites, well, those are the bunnies, of course. The bunnies have two opposites. So this is a disruptive, a diversifying selection. And Control V. Are the bunnies C? Yeah, the bunnies are C. So we're going to put C right. Oh, C. Okay, which graph depicts a type of selection that could result in the formation of two separate species? Two different species. What do you think, Miracle? A, B, or C? Which of these might have two new species? Just random. It doesn't. Just wonder which. So the robins, the moths. Well, I choose C. Yeah, because look at the extremes. Yeah, they could run off and have all new species. Do you see why? Look, this is the original, and out of the original came two different types of bunnies. Okay. Oh, good. Good. So our answer is going to be C. And propose an explanation. Well, I told you the whole story about industrial revolution, increased pollution, soot. How do you spell soot? S-U-T? Soot and grime covered trees. Okay. Soot. I don't think soot's spelled that way. Oh, idiot. Soot. Okay. Okay, so in graft A, it's observed that most robins have a clutch of 4 eggs. Why do you think they evolved to have this number? Um, I I would say it's the most manageable. Um, Probably statistically 4 eggs proved the survivorship. You know how to spell this? Nope. Maybe it's ER. Ah, I was right. All right. So then we move down and we just have to say, is it stabilizing, directional, or disruptive? So let's look at these pictures again. Disruptive is the bunnies. Directional is our moths, and stable is the robins. So we have mice that live in the woods. So natural selection tends to favor individuals that best blend in with the forest floor. Well, that's a little like our moths there. Assuming the ground is fairly consistent, the mice whose fur is most closely matched to the color will most probably survive and reproduce. Um, so I definitely think that would be our moths. So that's a directional selection. I'm really making that big. All right. The environment created a selection pressure which favored giraffes with long necks, who could reach more food in the trees. At the same time, there was selection pressure against giraffes with shorter necks. I don't. Let's look. Well, I think this is directional too. I really do. All right. So in a Chinook salmon, males compete with each other to fertilize the female eggs. Large fish have an advantage because they're strong fighters. Small fish also have an advantage because they can sneak in while the large fish are fighting. Well, I think that's our bunnies. Couple of choices there, which is diversifying. So our bunnies go here. All right. So most rock, we're going to be looking at rock pocket mice next. Um, Tomorrow maybe. In the Sonoran Desert are light tan. However, those that are found on dark colored rocks as a result of old lava flows are all dark in color. So this is back to our moths, definitely. So our moth directional, all based on the background. All right, light colored oysters blend into the rocks in the shallows, and the darkest would blend better into the shadows. The ones in the intermediate range would show up against either backdrop, offering these oysters no advantage and then making them easy prey. Thus, with fewer of the medium individuals surviving, the population eventually has more colored to either extreme of the spectrum. So that's like the bunnies again. All right, diversifying. Because remember, our bunnies have the extremes, so the oysters are going to have the extremes too. And our last one for the day, aren't you happy? Yay! Huh? Uh, you got 20 minutes before next period. So, in humans, babies are born small, can lose heat too easily and may die, whereas babies being born too large can lead to complications. That's true. And the death of the mother or the baby. As a result, most babies are born weighing an average of about 7.5 pounds. My babies, I had both. And so that brings us to our little birdies. This is a stabilizing selection. So there we go. We have finished this assignment. And as I look, tomorrow's vocabulary. And then the next day, next week, we're going to do the rocket map. Same type of thing we were just doing, the colors and the experiments and everything. All right. So where's my, oh, I gotta stop sharing.